Welcome to Fresh Talk News Channel. Today, we delve into the latest news update. Over 1,000 anti-Trump protests, both big and small, are scheduled across America this Saturday. For weeks, people have gathered on small-town street corners, in major cities, state capitals, and even the nation's capital to express their displeasure and disbelief at how President Donald Trump is running the country. The largest protest by far is expected on Saturday, with demonstrations planned at hundreds of locations nationwide. More than 500,000 people have RSVP'd to attend one of over 1,000 rallies, marches, or protests, all organized by a handful of grassroots groups. What April 5th is really about is saying, hey folks, let's all come together in one day, show the power of our voices, and ensure we're heard about what we're seeing from this administration, and push back on these harms, said Move On Executive Director Ronna Epting. Hunter Dunn, spokesperson for one of the organizing groups, 50,501 for 50 states, 50 capitals, one day, said the goal is to bring protests directly to the people, rather than expecting everyone to gather in just a few large cities. We want to create space for those massive protests, Dunn said, but we also want to make sure you can walk outside your door and start resisting, if that's what you need to do. If that's all you can do, we have a place for you. Hosting organizations include long-standing groups like Indivisible, Women's March, Move On, Working Families Power, and Public Citizen, as well as grassroots efforts like 50501, formed after Election Day. The largest event is expected in Washington, D.C. beginning at noon at the Washington Monument. Organizers say it could be even bigger than the People's March that took place the weekend before Trump's second inauguration. The protests will be live-streamed. The First Lady's office cited the planned protests as the reason for moving the White House's annual Spring Garden tour to Sunday. While Trump isn't scheduled to be in Washington, he won't be able to avoid the demonstrations even at Mar-a-Lago, his Florida estate, where multiple protests are planned in the Palm Beach area. Anyone who thinks protests, lawsuits, and lawfare will deter President Trump must have been sleeping under a rock the past several years, said White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt in a statement to USA Today. President Trump will not be deterred from delivering on the promises he made to make our federal government more efficient and more accountable to hard-working American taxpayers, who overwhelmingly re-elected him. Building momentum, protests have intensified nationwide as Trump has rolled back protections for immigrants and transgender people and laid off tens of thousands of federal workers. Some protests have focused on specific issues like support for federal employees, LGBTQ rights, immigrant rights, Palestinian self-determination, or Ukraine. Others have been broader demonstrations against Trump's agenda. In February alone, more than 2,085 protests took place across the U.S. according to the Crowd Counting Consortium, a joint project of Harvard Kennedy School and the University of Connecticut. That's up from 937 protests in February 2017, the first full month of Trump's first term. Many of the early-term protests in 2017 were much larger than what we've seen so far in 2025, resulting in less frequent media coverage this time around. Epting noted that most people showing up at their member of Congress's town halls are regular citizens, organizing locally because they're upset about what they're seeing. When you see those things happening, you know there's a movement bubbling up, she said. We know we're stronger in numbers. Let's make sure we're all taking action together in one day, so we can tell one concerted story in opposition to the cuts to these critical services. The volume is the point. Rachel O'Leary Carmona, executive director of Women's March, said she's especially focused on the number of protests scheduled, especially in small towns. I love hearing about 200 people in Fargo, North Dakota. There were 700 people in Amarillo for a recent march, she said. She added that it takes real political courage to stand up in a small town, in a red city, in a red state, in a red region, and say, no. We're here, and we're going to fight for what's right in our community. Different groups have different goals. Some aim to pressure Democrats to stand stronger against Trump or even change leadership. Others want to show Trump and Republicans the size of the opposition. We're looking for people to come out and support the causes they're most passionate about, Dunn told USA Today. And we want to bring all those causes together in solidarity, to show our government, and the world, that the American people are not being represented. And we'll show them that in 2026 and 2028, we're going to take our democracy back. The 2017 Women's March, which drew millions nationwide after Trump's first election, was headlined by celebrities and politicians. But this Saturday's lineup will focus more on hearing from organizational leaders, with just a few well-known politicians in the mix. I think it's really important for folks to hear from people who live the same struggles they do, Carmona said. It's not about glorifying someone else's power anymore. People want their own leadership. They want to know how to exercise it. And that's what we'll be sharing with them. This piece has been updated to correct a date and the name of a participating organization. Thanks for watching Fresh Talk News channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe.